Hey everyone, it's Cathy here. Welcome back to a brand new video. Today's video is going to be my first ever reading wrap up. For the month of October, I read a few books and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a reading wrap up because I have been on my reading kick this month. This month, I have 5 books I read this month. If you guys enjoy this video, please give this video a thumbs up, or if you want more videos like this. And then remember to subscribe down below. I post videos every Monday at 10:30 PST. AM, not PM. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started with my October reading wrap up. Okay, so I really don't know how reading wrap ups usually go with a lot, so because it's my first one, but how I'm gonna lay this out is I'm gonna show you guys a book, and then I'm gonna give you guys a synopsis of it, and then some of my favorite quotes on it, just to kind of intrigue you guys to read it, and my ratings. So yeah. Okay. Hey guys, so I'm actually editing this video right now, and before I show you guys all the books I read, I wanted to preface it here and say, before you read any of these books, please make sure to research some trigger warnings, as some books really tackle really complicated and maybe triggering topics that you really don't want to reopen wounds to. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. This first book, it has such a special place in my heart. It's definitely in my top 5. No, I take that back. Top 3 favorite books ever. And I've read a lot of books in my lifetime. The first book I read is Christina Lauren, Love in Other Words. Guys, this book is a masterpiece. I have cried. This is my first book that I've ever highlighted and used markers. So, and then the tab moments are just some quotes I like. Okay, so this book is about a girl named Macy, and ever since she was young, she's seen her parents love each other so much, and she truly believed that they were made for each other. They were soulmates. Her mom actually passes away. He's left with Macy, and of course, since the mom's gone, the mom left motherly advice in letters. The dad really, literally, that was his Bible to raise Macy. And one of the letters said, when Macy feels down, take her on a little getaway, and he saw this as a little getaway home. This weekend home is so important because they bought this weekend home, and she ended up being neighbors with Elliot. Elliot is her first and only love in her lifetime. But 11 years ago, he did something so much that completely broke her, and she just hasn't seen love the same. Fast forward 11 years later, she has a stable job as a residency as a pediatric in the town where her weekend house is. And she bumps into Elliot. Yet there's a problem. She's already engaged. She has a fiance that has a well-steady job and just something safe for her to really just live comfortably. But Elliot doesn't see it that way. Elliot literally sees her as his one true love. I'm just gonna say this. He saw her and he talked to her for 5 minutes and broke up with his girlfriend that night. That's how in love he is with Macy. So after these 11 years, they kind of go through rekindling their connection. Though this relationship is so perfect, Macy can't get over what happened 11 years ago. And what I really like about this book is it talks about now, the present of them rekindling their friendship, to then what actually happened that led up to their falling out. And it's literally the most emotional roller coaster of a book, but it is honestly so beautiful, and I'm just crying just thinking about it. I love this book so much. I am definitely gonna reread this, but I'm gonna share 2 quotes that I really loved in this book. I don't know if it gives it away, but I cried. These 2 quotes were my breaking point. Here's the first quote: I've been waiting for you to come home for 11 years. I'll go anywhere you go. Also, this quote, everyone's favorite, but literally it just makes sense, and it really ties in the whole story together. Favorite word, he whispers, I don't even hesitate. You. I just want to fucking cry. That is so cute. I highly recommend you read this. This is my 5 stars, and honestly, it's so fucking beautiful. Christina Lauren. This is my first Christina Lauren book ever. Love her. Obsessed with her. I don't think you understand. I'm obsessed. This book is just so good, and it's kind of spicy, so do what you will. Highly, 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 highly recommend this book, Love in Other Words. Oh, my favorite book, Love in Other Words. I love it. Moving on to my girl, this book has been on my TBR for so long. I regret not reading this sooner, to be honest. The next book is Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover. Okay, I'm just gonna say this now. I am such a hopeless romantic. So I have a lot of love books. This book is about a girl named Sydney, and on her 22nd birthday, she kind of found out that her boyfriend was cheating on her with her best friend and roommate. And it's just like her whole life is coming spiraling down. But that is until her neighbor, like they live within the same apartment complex, Ridge, offers her a place to stay because they have a spare room. How she met Ridge is Ridge goes out on the balcony every night and plays his guitar, and Sydney is just so mesmerized by it. Sydney really immerses herself into Ridge's world. She starts falling for him, but then she finds out he has a girlfriend, and Ridge is having this internal battle between like his first love and loving Sydney, which is someone new. He really doesn't know what to do. And this is dual point of view. I fucking love dual point of view because you get like the whole story. They kind of connect by writing songs together. And what makes this book so beautiful is Colleen Hoover actually worked with an artist and they actually wrote songs. Like the songs in here come to life, so they said to listen to the songs as they come up on the book, and it just really added an immersive experience, like you were actually living within the book. And it is so beautiful, and my fangirl heart really could not take it. I was so in love. Like this is the story, honestly. So you follow Sydney and Ridge for their experience of how to navigate writing songs, which is like one of the most intimate things that you could do in life, and battling their feelings for each other. And it's just such an immersive and such a beautiful experience. Like you are gonna cry tears. I feel like there's no character you could really hate except her roommate and her ex. That's just my personal opinion. On to the quotes of Maybe Someday. There isn't a doubt in my mind that we could be perfect for each other's lives. It's our lives that aren't perfect for us. And I'm like, why? I'm gonna say this whole page, just look at it. All this annotation. I need you to hear this. I will never regret you. I just fell in love with his voice. Did I mention Ridge's death? And there's just such a beautiful, I don't want to give it away, but this whole story, so beautifully written. I'm not gonna lie, I cried. Just look at this. I give this a 5 stars. I'm sorry. I'm like literally not picky, but this book is just so beautifully written. I love Colleen Hoover. I love the storyline. I love a musician romance. That could just be my fanfic days. Who knows? But yes, read this. Ugh, if you're like a fangirl at heart like me. Highly, highly, highly recommend. This next book, it literally took me so long. Normal People by Sally Rooney. And the reason why this book took me so long is because it is so real and so relevant to today's society's standards of a relationship. Honestly, it's so raw, and every single page, it's like you could easily relate to it. I think this book took me about 4 days. Pretty long for this length of a book. It's only 287 pages, but every page and every experience is so raw and so real and so relatable that it really takes you some time to process everything that goes on in this book. So this book follows Connell and Mary Ann. They grew up in the same small town, but basically their similarities really end there. Connell is that popular jock. Mary Ann is that weird loner girl. They connect because Connell's mom actually works for Mary Ann's rich family as a maid. And that's kind of like where their friendship really starts. Mary Ann is just so true to herself that she doesn't really care what people think about her. Connell, on the other hand, really cares about people's opinions and people's standards, and he actually starts to like or be attracted to Mary Ann, but he's scared about his reputation at school and everything. And this just follows them several years from high school, and it really ends with like their post-grad life of college. Follows like their path of really learning more about each other and rekindling their friendship and rekindling their relationship, and just kind of like their hardships, what they go through with different stages of their life and like things they go through in life of as a part of growing up. They have both have their own set of problems, but I feel like they just perfectly meant well together. And this book is probably the realest thing and realist standards of relationships I have read in such a long time, even though I've never been in a relationship. But it's like everything they talk about in this book is so real and so raw. Here's a first line that I really related to. Marianne had the sense that her real life was happening somewhere very far away, happening without her, and she didn't know if she would ever find out where it was and become part of it. She had that feeling in school often, but it wasn't accompanied by any specific images of what the real life might look like or feel like. All she knew was that when it started, she wouldn't need to imagine it anymore. And it's just kind of like relating to the fact that you kind of go through life autopilot mode. There's really no purpose to it. She feels like her real life isn't really happening until she really feels it, and she just feels like this is what she has to go through in order to achieve that real life that she so desires. And she just kind of feels like life is happening in front of her, and she's like, this isn't a life for me though, so I don't mind it happening in front of me. And when I feel that this life that is meant for me is happening, then it won't feel like I'm on autopilot. And I just think that there's such beauty to that. And then this one, I love this moment. Maybe they were just curious to observe the chemistry between two people who, over the course of several years, apparently could not leave one another alone. And it just like really gives that full circle moment of we grew so much, and yet here we are finally actually getting and acting on that relationship we feel like we deserve. Normal People is just such a beautiful, emotional, real roller coaster of life that all of us really go through, and I feel like such a beautifully written book. There's something that they talk about that we could all relate to. It's hard to get through it because like when you read, you want to like be in this alternate universe and not really think about your problems, but just reading a book like this, people go through this. It's normal. Hence, Normal People. I wish there was like less time skips and like somewhat more detail of like what's going on. So I would have to say I have to give this book a 4.5 stars, but it is real. Sally Rooney did such a beautiful job with this. It's going to take a while to process, but really, really worth the read. So yes. I really wanted to like read a mystery book and like things related to October. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I see this all over TikTok. It's about a girl named Pip, and for her senior capstone project, she decides to reinvestigate the murder of a popular girl named Andy Bell and her boyfriend Sal. This murder was 5 years ago, and people believe that Sal killed Andy. Pip doesn't believe that, so she decides to reinvestigate this murder because she really wants to clear his name. It's just a whirlwind of an adventure because Pip actually has her own life in danger because the actual killer was threatening her, telling her to stop looking because they want to stay innocent. I love how this book was laid out because there was like, it has like little things of like little clues, and then at the end of each part of her capstone project she has like a persons of interest list. And although this book was really entertaining and it really left me for a loop that I really didn't know who it was until the end, I didn't really necessarily enjoy it. I like the layout, but I feel like some parts was just too long and some parts didn't seem necessary. I just kind of feel like this is a book I would definitely enjoy in middle school, maybe freshman year of high school, but it is a good book, and I was surprised by the ending, to be honest. Like I was like, no way. Like I was like so shocked. I would give this book a 3 out of 5 stars, and I can't really quote this book because I don't want to give it away. If you like mysteries, if you like a really easy read this book. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. People might have different opinions. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And for my 5th and maybe final book, remember I'm just working on my 6th book. I have a book I actually checked out from the library. During this time of year, I love getting summer romance books just cause like I miss summer. There's just something about summer romances that it has my heart. I know I talk about how I love like the enemies to lovers trope, but summer romances, there's just something different about them. And honestly, I would love to like have a summer romance one summer, but who knows? Okay, this is from one of my favorite authors, and this is Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. This book is about Taylor Edwards. She tends to run away from her problems all her life. Her summer before senior year, there is this problem she really can't outrun. She finds out that her dad has 4th-stage pancreas cancer, and it is untreatable because they found it late. And her dad's last wish is to go back into their Summer Lake house where she ran away from 5 years ago, leaving her best friend who felt betrayed from what she did, and her first love who was very hurt as to why she ran away. And this summer is just kind of confronting those problems and really confronting how she is with her family and finding this family dynamic, because she always felt like a black sheep, and just like finding her way within this town and just like really facing problems head on. She just kind of had to make this her last chance to really get to know her dad, really fix her problems that she left in this town. And it's just like such a really like fuzzy, if you guys want something like just really wholesome and really fuzzy, I highly recommend this book. Love this book. I cried, I'm not gonna lie. This is a book I would probably pick up my freshman sophomore year of high school. I would really thoroughly enjoy, and I still enjoy it now. I give it though 4 stars, just because I wish like there was more plot line developed and as well, and just like more like details. Like it is a long book, but like some of the details used, it just didn't feel necessary. This is a quote I chose. I watched him watching the stars above as streaks of light flew past. His eyes were focused, following one as it cut its path across the huge dark canvas of the sky. Stars, he said in a voice that was clearer than he'd yet used that night, a voice that was laced with wonder. And I just thought that was like one of the most beautiful moments in this book. Honestly, if you guys just want a wholesome romance book, Second Chance Summer or any Morgan Matson book is so good. Okay, I said I was working on a 6th book, and we got the 6th book done. The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. Guys, this is a perfect October read. So let me tell you what it's about. 9 years ago, Vivian Jones nursed her broken heart like any young witch would. Vodka, weepy music, bubble baths, and a curse on her horrible boyfriend who ran away. 9 years later, Rise Penhallow comes back just because his family is a founding family of Graves Glen for Founders Day, and he finds out that he's been cursed by Vivian, and this story just goes through them breaking the curse. And plus you kind of like get flashbacks to how they feel. It's kind of spicy. Touch on the witchy side of things. I love them talking about tarot cards, just rituals and like casting spells. Ugh, we love to see it. Here are 2 of my favorite quotes from this book. The opening line, fucking iconic. Never mix vodka and witchcraft. I mean, how could you not want to read it after that? And here's another line. The one truly powerful spell she'd ever managed, and it was going to wreck everything for her. Classic. This book is a romantic comedy. You could not help but fall in love with all the characters. It wasn't just an Ex-Hex that she cursed Rise. She cursed the whole town. So it's just kind of like, little Vivian gotta save the town, and we love to see it. She was girl bossing around, and it was just a really fun and fast read, kind of quirky, and just look at the illustrations. I honestly love, just look at that, so pretty. And then just look at every, like, when you open the book, just, I love the border and everything. Literally, as every book, there's like this one problem. I don't want to say it because I want to ruin it. I would say because of that problem, I have to give this book a 4.2 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyable book, super fast and easy read. Honestly, so cute, so funny. It's just a fun all-around read. This is it for October. Okay, that was all the books I read for the month of October. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any video suggestions you may have. I might do a TikTok made me read it, because I do have a few books that I read like September that I did read for TikTok. Or would you guys rather have like wrap up like this type of videos? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Follow me on all social medias, and yeah, anyway, subscribe down below for more content every Monday, 10:30 PST AM. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Peace and love. Bye. That's how it goes when you're Hollywood perfect.